How would we lock up Donald Trump if Judge Juan Merchan decides that is going to be Donald Trump's sentence on July 11th? Many people have been saying there's no real way to make Trump serve time in a penitentiary. Practically speaking, you can't do it. Well, here's an interesting perspective. Former FBI Director James Comey, who Trump fired, recently appeared on Jen Psaki's show on MSNBC. And he said it's not all that complicated. He says it is doable to imprison Donald Trump or any former president. Listen to what he had to say.
Right. So a lot of people have suggested that there are a range of factors that would make it difficult to put a former, the system has not been tested in this way. Do you agree with that it would be difficult or nearly impossible for the law enforcement institutions to put him in actual jail?
No, they would just put him in a double wide somewhere out near the fence, out in the grass. And he would eat there, he'd shower there, he'd exercise there.
Trump doesn't exercise.
Be away, as Danya Perry said, from general population, but it's obviously doable.
So the idea here is this is actually much simpler. You don't need to build a facility just for Trump, as people were suggesting. You don't need to do home confinement. You don't have to do, just serve your sentence non-consecutively by just doing weekends in some facility, low security facility. No, it's very simple. You identify where it is that he should be held, and then you very easily bring some trailers there. James Comey referring to a double wide, which means a trailer of some kind. You can set up trailers for Secret Service. You can set up a little perimeter or whatever, but he is within the walls, within the confines of the penitentiary, the jail, the prison that he is assigned to. It's a pretty straightforward solution. For me, it's less about, the reason I continue to say I don't think Trump is really going to see a day inside the walls of any kind of penitentiary is that there are so many steps that would need to first get through to even really consider that. First and foremost is such a sentence something that Juan Merchan would impose? From what I'm reading, 60-70% of falsifying business records convictions in New York, 60-70%, there is no jail time handed down. It's just probation and or fines. So right off the bat, we have the chance that there's not even anything imposed. Then we go to, okay, what if we're in that other 30%? Trump hasn't shown remorse. Trump has 34 instances of falsifying business records, not just one. Maybe the judge says, I am going to impose a prison sentence. Sometimes it is imposed, but it is suspended, assuming Donald Trump is not convicted of or arrested or gets into other trouble. So you could get a sentence that is a suspended sentence, or you could get a sentence that is indeed served in home confinement or whatever the case may be. Or you could get a sentence that is then suspended pending appeal, as Donald Trump intends to do, and later thrown out, either because the sentence is deemed inappropriate or the appeal succeeds. Or you have a sentence that is temporarily held during appeal, and then Trump becomes president. And as a practical matter, it is determined, and again, this is where it starts to get like, well, how is this going to happen? It's determined you can't have a sitting president behind bars, and then it's pushed off until the end of Trump's term, at which time Trump would be in his 80s, and then who knows? So I don't think James Comey is wrong here, but I do still believe that the most likely outcome is whatever the sentence ultimately is, in terms of Trump actually spending days and nights within the perimeter of a penitentiary. I'm still betting against it. I want to hear from you. What do you expect? What do you think? What do you think of what James Comey is saying here?